Hello, everyone. What's going on?
I just get, don't know, it makes me laugh every time. I just feel like, oh,
Is it my countdown?
yeah,
Ah,
exactly.
it is. It's very exciting when we do that. I feel like we're in a spaceship. But there we are.
Yes, indeed. It's very hot though, this spaceship today. So we're sweltering a slight, we're true English maids, aren't we? We don't like a bit of sun and a bit of
Yeah,
heat.
we're fair maidens.
Yeah.
I have got clothes on, just to say, barely. Because it's just, I hate it. I
It is.
really hate the weather. Sorry to all the sun lovers out there, but
But do you know what? I'd rather be, look, there's me, look, I've got my fan. I'd rather be in a darkened aircon room in a library or something,
well,
looking at some
castles,
sources or
they're
castle.
always
They're
hot.
always cold, and aren't they? So yeah, that's a kind of. I think that's maybe what our past lives were, and hence why we're like that. Who
Yeah,
knows?
definitely.
Who
Yeah, I
knows?
mean, this complexion hasn't really ever seen the sun. I stay well out of it. So,
Yeah. Well,
yes. But you know where it's gonna be very hot in a couple of
I
weeks'
do
time?
know it's going to be very hot. It's going to be very hot indeed. I mean, if it's anything like last year, the old Chalke History Festival is just going to be Scorchio and Scorchio, but good in a good way.
In a good way. I think I lost about a stone that week, not
Did you?
just from the walking around, just from the and because I don't know if you've noticed, but all the photos that we've posted in, like, our Chalky Tuesdays, when I'm in them, I'm just, like, beet red because I'm absolutely flustered by all the lovely, awesome people we've seen. And, like, there's one particular, like, the one of me, you, and Tracy Borman,
Right.
Queen Borman, I
Yeah.
just look like a beetroot, and the one with me and Owen Emerson, I look like I'm about to melt, but I just look like a big red circle. So
It was a hot
that's
day
all it.
that day. I mean, we
Yeah,
were flustered by meeting those two, but it was a very hot day, and it's going to be the same. Well, we presume it's going to be the same. Who knows? Who knows
yeah,
what the long term forecast is? But it's very exciting because it's what are we now? It's less than a month. Less than a
yeah.
month now. Well, that's
What?
come around
Yeah,
quick.
4 weeks away. So in about 4 weeks' time, I'm guessing 5, maybe 5. Yeah, 4 weeks' time, we'll be at
Yes.
the what you're allowed to do and not do as a volunteer talk,
Yes.
and be having a tour of how it's all set out. So that'd be really
Yeah.
exciting.
It will be exciting.
You need to know where is the water and where are the toilets and where is Waterstones.
That's all you need to know. That's it. Basics. Oh, and where's Purbeck Ice Cream? You
Yeah,
need to know that.
that's usually opposite Gil's
Opposite
Water.
it. Yeah. Yeah. It's all
Yeah,
very
and
good.
remember to get a discount, Kelly, this time. So,
Remember. Yes, yes.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's
we're
very exciting.
very, very excited about it. I've been running through the program and there are a lot of juicy people that we want to see. I mean, they're not juicy. I mean, they might be juicy. I don't know whether they're juicy, but like juicy
Well, they
topics
are.
that we want to
Yeah.
see. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to picking out. And I love it about chalk because you can just like, all right, well, let's just go to Henge Tent and go and see the Archaeologist's Guide to Chariots. I'm only reading that because it's on my screen up there.
Yeah.
Or, anything. You just like there's so much to go and see and listen to and all new
Well,
things as well, which is brilliant.
it was amazing because you were just telling me before we hit record about the fact that there's a downloadable PDF version
Yeah.
of the schedule day by day that you can put
Branded.
on
Could have
your
had
phone.
a logo on it. I'm just saying. But
Yeah, but that is bloody brilliant. So I
yes.
can print that out, color code it to what I want to go and see and how it will fit in with the shifts that I'm working. Yeah. So that's exciting. But so have you picked out, if you've been looking at the lineup as well as me, so
Well,
are we
yes.
going to pick out some things that we're desperate to go and see, or?
Well, I mean, first one, because obviously it will be our History Magnets anniversary, because that's if our viewers kindly recall, this is where we met last year. And it was written in the stars, quite obviously, really. And so, yeah, so the first one has to be, and it is luckily on the Monday, so it actually lends itself very well to it, is our Queen Tracy Borman. She is coming to talk about the House of Berlin, which is obviously her latest
Very
novel that
excited.
she's got out,
I'm
which is very
getting
exciting.
ready to start the book because I want to try and do it for when we see her, but not, yeah,
So
trying to make it.
I've literally done about like the first chapter, I'm going to say. And then I kind of stopped And then I kind of like am I doing it too early? But I don't think I think I am now just going to go gung ho onto it. But it was really nice as well, because when you start reading it, you can like, because you know where these characters are, and you know that they're in St. Peter's Church and like this, that, and the other, and you're just like, she's very good at invoking, like, you know, what yeah, because obviously she's lives and breathes all this, so she knows it inside out. So her facts are on point, which we can't say for everyone that we've read before. So, but yeah, she's just awesome. So actually, really looking forward to seeing her.
Very, very excited about that. And towards the end of the week is another book that I am waiting to start, and that is Tony Robinson,
Yes.
aka Baldrick, for those who are sort of our age, and his book about the House of Wolf, or
So this
House of
is a
the Wolf.
novel.
This is a novel, and it's set in King Alfred's time. I'm
Oh
really
yes,
excited about reading it because I love that period anyway. But I mean, he's obviously a writer of amazing things that we've watched, and I mean, I grew up on Blackadder. I remember being a little kid and watching the Queen Elizabeth the
yeah,
First series, and just thinking it was brilliant with her nurse called Bernard and
yes,
all that sort of thing, and Captain Flashheart.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm just really excited about the possibility of seeing Tony Robinson in the flesh, and also because of all the amazing stuff he's done, like with Time Team and all his
yeah,
history
yeah,
pro. So
yeah,
he is a passionate guy about history.
yeah.
So I've read non-fictional books by him, but not a fictional one. So I'm
Sure.
excited about this, and he'll be there at the end. He's there on the
He
Sunday.
is there on the Sunday. I'm wondering whether or not I need to. I think I'm going to speed read Tracy Borman, because I think I will anyway, because it's Tracy and she's so good, and then get that one in before. Yeah, just because
Do
you need to
you make notes when you read stuff like this?
do, not on fictional books, but maybe on. I might do.
Yeah.
Might do. I mean, I know you do. I know you do your old trees. You like trying to like,
Yeah, I like to have a visual, especially if there's not one in the book. Or yeah, I think I like to make notes because I always worry that I'm gonna forget something I want to find out about or ask about. Just really annoying,
That's
annoying
what
myself really, but
well,
I'm very excited about those are the 2 talks I'm very excited about. Obviously Tracy, but also Tony Robinson. But there's also millions in between.
I mean, there's one. Now, have I read this right? Is Alexander Armstrong doing a Marie Antoinette talk? Yes.
Yes,
See, I
I've
don't know
written
what the
loads. I've got
connection is.
notes here as well.
What's the connection
Yeah,
on that?
he's interview he'll be the interviewer, I'm guessing, because it's the lady who curated the exhibition I went to see at the
Yes.
V&A on Marie Antoinette, and also so that's Sarah Grant, and then I don't know if it's Catriona or Katrina Seth, who
Okay.
she's a university professor in like French literature and stuff, and so they're going to talk about Marie Antoinette as like the original influencer because of her fashion and she brought to the court of France, especially in her early years when she was never massively popular, but when she had more popularity, and that was talked about in the exhibition at the V&A anyway about like what an icon she was and became later on, especially with the films and TV programs about her and fashion and
Yeah, yeah.
very excited about that.
That
That's
is.
on Monday as well. And there's also later on the same day, there's a Behind the Myth of Marie Antoinette by an opera company. The
Yes.
Liberative is doing Antonia Behind the Myth, and that's going to be amazing. Not that I know anything. Do you like operas? I don't know anything about opera.
I like. It's not really my. I've
Yeah.
never really been exposed to it. I'm going to say that. So I can neither deny or confirm whether or not it's my bag, because
Okay. Well,
I've
it
been
might
exposed.
be your bag. I don't know. I'm expecting amazing outfits for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anything Marie Antoinette is gonna
Yeah.
be phenomenal. So that is just gonna be a great day. I mean, that's just Monday.
I mean,
Tracy Borman, Marie Antoinette.
I mean, tick. That's it. Tick. It's already done. But then
Yeah.
also we have some of our favourites on the Friday. which is one of our favourite old conversations that we always hark back to, which is The Princes in the Tower, and it's called
Yeah.
Murder, Mystery or Myth, and it's with Nathan Amin, Matt Lewis, and our favourite Nicola Tallis. So that is going to be awesome, and I'm hoping Keith is going to be there at the same time because
Yeah.
Nathan's
Shout
dad.
out to Keith Tallis.
I think you
Hopefully
should
he's there.
text him because he did say he was going to volunteer,
I
didn't he?
don't think he can make it. I think I was like, "Are you gonna be at Chalke?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Sort that out." Maybe I hound him and get
Hound him.
him to. I've never seen Matt Lewis speak
No,
in
I
real
haven't.
life. I'm
No.
very excited about him because he is
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic and a font of all knowledge, and they've done a lot of things, the 3 of them together, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah, but I think it'd be fascinating because there's obviously, there's 2 definite camps that we know. Well, I think Nathan and Nicola are probably in one camp. Definitely Nathan, and then Matt's obviously in the other, about whether Richard did or didn't do it, but,
Does Matt Lewis think that he didn't?
Yeah, he's completely, he's a Ricardian, isn't he?
So who does he think did it then?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm pretty
'Cause
sure he is a pro Richard. He's a pro Richard guy. And I'm like, well,
well,
do you know what? That's why we're there, so he can
yeah,
convince us. He can put his argument forward. But I think Nathan's already gone in with a fighting talk already when I've seen exchanges on social media. So
yeah.
I expect it to be a thoroughly entertaining one. To be honest, I suspect Nicola will probably be the peacekeeper in the middle, trying to keep them
Just trying to
on
sort.
being respectful and like let's keep it
Yeah,
nice.
I think there would be lots of big opinions, which is I love all of that. And one of my favourite things about Nathan is his big opinions about
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about what he thinks has happened, and not without good insight and
yeah,
research cause. Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it the other last time, but when I went to Warwick Castle when I was little, I remember they had a room with the button and you had to push a button of who you thought was responsible for and the missing princes
yeah.
in the tower. And one of the like Henry VII, Richard, or I can't remember who the other option was,
Margaret Beaufort,
but
wasn't it?
I don't know if that counted as under Henry, but
Henry.
yeah,
Okay.
possibly. But it wasn't Margaret Beaufort. I know, my heart of hearts, it wasn't. But it was Richard.
I mean, of course it was.
Was. Of course it was.
He would have to convince. I don't know what his theory would be to convince me otherwise, to be honest. Because every action he did or didn't do, which he should have done, why didn't he do it? What?
Yeah.
Doesn't make
He
sense.
was a proper statesman and knew exactly what he was doing. He was probably a master chess player, thinking but the fact is, if it wasn't him who was responsible, why didn't he bring them out? Or why didn't he at least let people who would have spoken out, like Elizabeth Woodville or Elizabeth of York
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
see them? Like, no, yeah, I just don't understand how they couldn't not think it was him.
So I think one of the first things we do once we've done Chalke History Festival is come back on here and discuss what they discussed. We'll have to take
Yeah,
notes. That's one of the ones we'll have to take notes in, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll.
Sorry, I could talk about it all day because it is, and it's one that, and we never ever know
No.
ever.
Please.
And and just sidebar, because we'll talk about it again in a bit, but I saw our good friend Lauren Johnson last
Mm,
weekend on Literary Festival, who was talking about Margaret Beaufort and her wonderful book at the
yeah.
festival, which was amazing. And I was her patron. So I was at the front and I was holding her bag. Very important. But someone came up and asked her, like quite a lot of people getting her to sign the book and stuff, and they were asked someone came up and said, "What do you think about the Prince in the Tower?" And then which led to us talking about the bones that were found
Yes.
in like the Victorian times. And of course,
Yes.
Victorians just messed up lots of things.
Yeah.
And I think they mixed them up because I think they were saying that bones that had been found had been moved around loads. And of
Yeah.
course, some mixed up with animal bones. So we were saying, who would be responsible for allowing that to go ahead? Would it be the king?
Yeah.
Because
Mm. It would be, but then the excuse that they've always used is that the integrity, because they've been messed
yeah,
around with them so much, is like they wouldn't you wouldn't get it because they were messed around or moved around and did whatever they did to them. You
But
know,
surely you
all
only
the
need
times when we were having strict controls over doing analysis and stuff like that. So
a bit of DNA to say that they were
I feel like
linked.
that's just an excuse, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
I mean, it's true, they were messed around, but then how can, for example, years later, you can still find evidence, DNA evidence on certain things, and people still get convicted years and years and years later? You're like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Well, that's interesting you said that because there is another talk at Talk at
What's
Talk that I want to see. I'm
what's that?
just trying to find my notes on it, and that is about DNA, the secrets of our DNA and our past revealed with Tori King. She's the scientist who helps identify Richard III, and she also did another show with I think it was Stacey Dooley and genetically analyze Hitler and stuff. And she's doing talk about that, the secrets of our DNA, which I really want to go to.
Yeah.
We'll find out and then to hear about maybe about because I'm very interested in ancestral DNA.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of talk about whether our memories can be DNA, like people are into past lives and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
aging and things like that. And there is talks about not just physical traits, but those other sort of traits as well that can be passed down. Like we know that fire is hot and we don't as a baby we don't tend to put our hands in fire and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
is that
How do
because
we know
we
that? Yeah.
ethically know that and just things like that. So that's gonna be amazing. She's there on
So
Thursday.
she's on Moot, and you're in Moot on Thursday, aren't you? Oh, yeah,
Yes,
great.
I do.
Good, good, good. Oh, no,
That's
so
gonna be
she's on at the same
interesting.
time as the American Revolution through British lens, though, with Sean Cunningham.
Right. Well, maybe I'll do one, you do the other. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll do a mute anyway.
Well,
But
yeah, so I can run up, see Sean, and then run back to
yeah,
see. Yeah.
hopefully they'll stagger it somehow. I mean, obviously we
Yeah,
can
it is
see
staggered a little bit.
online afterwards. But Sean Cunningham is the guy who I listened to do a talk at the National Archives because that's where he works. He did the talk on Henry VII. I've just brought his book as well, and he is brilliant. But he's doing that on
Yeah.
the American Revolution, did you say?
Yeah, American Revolution through the British lens, which is interesting because the National Archives, I know, obviously have the Declaration of Independence within their stash. I won't say any more on that at this moment in time, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so he's again afterwards to talk about Henry VII at
Yeah.
2:30. Oh, I love having a day off at Chalk when you can just go and do whatever you want to go and do and see whatever you want to go and see.
Yeah, he's doing the Treason and Trust talk, which is the
Yes.
talk is online, which I saw, which was absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
And I
good.
know other historians always rate him as one of the leading historians of Henry VII, and just really fascinating. Sounds like there's lots he doesn't know. So that's going to be great.
I
But you
mean,
know
yeah.
what else?
And then he's clashing with Kate Williams on her new Regina one. So that's at 4. No,
My
sorry, that's at 2, and then he's at 2:30. So I can go see her, then run in the heat. That's going to go down well.
get the golf.
To see him. Do what?
We'll find someone who's driving the golf cart. Isn't Mabel's dad Rob? Isn't he driving a golf
Yes, I
cart?
think he is. I think he is.
Yeah. Well,
Sorted.
track him down and say,
Yeah.
right, you need to be on standby so Becky can get round to all of the talks. Yeah.
She's
Because you
an
know what?
elderly lady. She needs some assistance.
Well, you know what else is on that day? So Thursday's going to be a really good day.
Why?
There's
What else
the
is found
story
out?
of the murder, the wives, the mistress, and Dr. Crippen, and that's with Hallie Rubenhold
That's going to be
and
good.
I always find serial killers are always
Yeah.
fascinating, and anyone executed I always find fascinating. But I remember because he tried to escape to America, didn't he, on board of a cruise with his mistress disguised as a young boy.
Yes.
So they're going to talk about him. So Dr. Crippen, that's going to be a good one. I need to look at the times
Your
because I did.
talks on that day in that tent are really good, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. And there is also a talk on Thursday, The Surgeon, the Midwife, the Quack, How to Stay Alive in
Yeah.
Renaissance England
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
Dr. Alana Skews.
Yeah.
And it will feature discussions about leeches.
Get
So
in!
we've got to go to that as well because we love a leech.
We love a leech, yes. Weird
No,
way. Yeah.
that's
Maybe have to find something else, I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, let's not let that become
No,
a thing. So, yeah, strike that from everyone's memories. But, I mean, that's gonna be
yeah,
absolutely intriguing.
that is gonna be great. There's so much. There's so much. There really
Yeah.
is.
Yes. Well, there's the Black Death as well. That's on Friday, A
Where's
Global History with Thomas
yeah,
Asprey.
yeah,
That's gonna be great. And then we've got I mean, there's Boudicca's Daughter, and I've got that book by Elodie Harper. That's gonna be amazing. That's a fictional book, because obviously we don't have loads and loads of history and about
yeah,
Boudica, and we don't have any sources about her. So a reimagining of 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 that and what they did. So I've got to
yeah,
read that. And also the other book that I want to read before Chalk is Rasputin, the latest by Anthony Beevor, because I love a bit of Rasputin, and The
yeah.
Downfall of the Loss, which I always love all of that. Ever since I watched is it Nicholas and Alexandra? The film, like the 70s film? When I remember watching that with my granny when I was really little, and it being like that's that's another soap opera family that we
It
don't talk
is.
about. Romanovs.
It is, yeah. What was the other one that I was looking at? Miranda Kauffman. I can't see her now.
Yeah.
But I've just bought her book as well. Hang on, let me find it. Let me
Did she write was it The Black Tudors that she
She
wrote?
wrote Black Tudors, yeah, yeah, I've got that. But she's just done, I think it's called Heiresses. Hang on, oh yeah, there.
Oh,
Heiresses. And it's about, yeah, heiresses, marriage, inheritance, and Caribbean slavery. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good one. So I've just bought the book, that's another one I'll have to read before.
is that is what sort of era is that? Is that like Georgian-esque era then? With slang?
Yeah, so a little bit maybe before, and it's so basically people inherited women marrying into slave trade families.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Well, that's pretty exciting.
yeah,
God.
and
There's just
her book kind of like does. I haven't read it yet, but she highlights different women and their relationship and yeah, so it looks very
that's That's gonna be really good. I mean, there's loads, isn't there? There's a few talks about cricket, so I'm gonna have to go and watch some of
yeah.
those. And also Colin Bell is there again. He's the guy he's over 100, isn't he? He was in the RAF and he was in I remember watching part of him last year. Um he was on at the same time as someone else, but I came into the tail end of
I
his
didn't see that. Yeah, what day is he on?
On Monday, when the schools are in, so that'll be I imagine a lot of the kids will stay for that. I think it's in the early evening, but he did a lot of flights over actual Germany itself and Berlin and things. Obviously, he's one of the last people who can give proper accounts of
Yeah,
World War II firsthand.
yeah,
So absolutely incredible. And then on the other side of that, you've got, The Long Death of Hitler by I don't know if she's written a book about it or it's about to be a book, Caroline Sharples, and about why it took so long for us to confirm because Hitler only was confirmed actually officially dead in like a few years ago, like the 2018 or 2017 or something.
really?
Yeah, so because I think the Russians had his skull for a while and things like that. So and that goes hand in hand with the lady who's gonna do the DNA discussion
Yes.
as well. So there's just loads. And we also have, talking of first-hand accounts, we also have, on the Wednesday, it's Judge Theodore Meron, I hope I said that right, he survived the Holocaust. I don't know how old he is, but I'm guessing he was a child in the Holocaust, and he, has he went on to live in Palestine, but he
Oh,
also became a judge, and he oversaw the first genocide trials of the world, and he's with, a journalist interviewing him, Zoe Flood, and they're gonna talk about from Holocaust surviving the Holocaust to judging genocide. That's gonna be a chat on the Wednesday. I mean, that's gonna be fascinating,
that is
um, especially in
fascinating.
the world that we live in today.
Yeah,
Yeah. God, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be exhausted.
yeah, yes, we are. We're no spring chickens anymore, so you have to take your electrolytes and your, energy food.
Did you remember Pro Plus? They were big when I was doing my GCSEs.
Anyway.
Everyone was like,
It's pure caffeine.
uh,
Ooh.
yeah,
I better not have that. I'm not sure what's certain for you either.
no, I've never drank a Monster drink. I think that would probably kill me.
No, no, I just know that's not for me. I can't even remember the last time I had a Red Bull. That was probably, I don't know, when they first came out, like how many years
Yeah,
ago that was. Yeah, no,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
No, I can't be done with that. Mad enough. So I
And
don't
there's
think that
nothing
would.
wrong, I think, with a nana nap. Little power nana nap. It does wonders for your energy
Yeah,
levels, you know?
yes, it
So
does.
that's where I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, yeah. And then we've also got Mary Beard. I did write
Yes.
down when she's on, and she's there with her son, who I didn't realise was her son.
No, yeah.
What's her
I don't
son?
even know what date that
Raphael.
is.
That's on the Wednesday, a family affair, understanding our ancestors with Mary Beard and her son, Raphael Cormack, who is a historian and an
There's some
author in
right.
his own right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be brilliant. I think Trevor Darby, who's one of the, I don't know if he's on the board of Chalke History, he is going to be interviewing them all.
Huh.
Or
Mm.
yeah, that's going to be brilliant because I
Yeah.
think they're talking about they both have interest in very different parts of history, and then they're
Yeah.
sort of it's sort of slanted to be a family discussion, but also expertise talk. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
wonder if there'll be arguments. That'd be good.
That will be good. Very
Good
good.
chat.
Yeah, it's gonna be very good.
Yeah, there's loads. There was someone talking about the history of the English language in 6 letters and looking at Chalke, Danny Bates. I mean, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
And that's not even talking about the living history bits,
Yeah.
the,
Falconry guy.
yeah, all the people doing all their, yeah, the trench experiences, the SOE experiences. Oh, God. Are you doing the trench again this year?
Do you know, I might leave it to let other people have a go this year. No.
That will be one of my enduring memories of you. Mabel come out, but she fell over. Yeah, so that would be good. But it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. I
It's gonna
love
be
the fact that they do bits of literally history of everything and talking about political things going on today and how it matches up. So Jackson Van Uden's talking about Henry VIII and Donald Trump and sort of similarities, which is something that you've said
pointed
about
out
the
before. Yeah.
many times.
Big old man babies.
Yes.
Yes.
Who's the
Yeah.
biggest man today?
Yeah. Yeah. So, it'll all be very interesting. I cannot wait. And
Yeah,
thankfully, we've got less than a month to go. We've been
yeah.
banging on about it since last time, so, you know.
Right, all of you very much looking forward to it
Yeah.
and getting a T-shirt with Talk Volunteer on it.
Do oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
I have to
Just
take my
about to say
award.
they didn't do much last year, but I've just cottoned on with what you're talking about. Yeah, mhm, yeah, but
Yeah,
maybe they
yeah.
will do merch this year. Yeah.
They should do, shouldn't they?
I
Yeah.
think well, I got asked a few times of like, "Oh, did they do a little tote bag or anything like that?" And I don't think they will. I think they probably should do that.
Yeah, a magnet at least.
At least.
I love a magnet. Oh, and we're history magnets, so we need a
Yeah.
magnet.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But what else has been going on? Have you been doing anything exciting? Have I?
We went to go and see I'll tell you what I went to go see. I can't turn around because my neck hurts. I went to go and see this last week, which was very
Gifting says
good
it.
indeed.
Where was it? Where
It
did you
was
see it?
in the Ambassadors Theatre, which is just, those you know, London, just opposite the Ivy, the original Ivy restaurant. Very nice, very small little theatre, lovely little, you know, I love those little theatres. Although the seats, if you go, the seats were incredibly hard. And like,
You
you
went
know,
out though,
they
squashed
were
in.
they were very, like, small you're very, like, you know, because obviously when it was built, they haven't been able to but, you know, they've done wonders to it. There was a lift in, obviously, because accessibility, they need to have these things in there, but they obviously haven't done anything with the chairs, and they were very hard, and this is just for a word of warning for people going, take something comfy to sit on because you will need it. And it is a 2-hour show and there's no interval. So you can't even get up and like walk around. So by the end of it, I was like,
There's
you know, when you do
horseshoes.
that lifting your ass cheek because you're like, oh my God, like sort of,
Yeah,
yeah.
you like this?
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like, oh my God, please, is this like, not that I wanted it to be over because obviously it was a very good film, but a very good theatre production. But it basically is I don't know whether you've heard, but you can see here it says on the title, "Kings don't kill their wives right," kind of thing. And it's basically these three characters here, although they are dressed up for the occasion because they don't appear like that in the production at all. I will show you some pictures as that, yeah, because I was just like half expecting. So what I'm going to say is I really enjoyed it. Obviously, love going to theatre, love stories and stuff like that. So I loved it. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's going to be like full of juiciness from the time. And it was, but they don't wear that at all, as I mentioned. So I'm like already feeling slightly shortchanged on that. And then
Why?
basically, this is what they wear, this is who they are. So basically, it's three women, and this is the one set that's the only backdrop that they have, and it's basically it's an area that they go to. So three women who are friends. They're all from different kind of walks on. One's a midwife, one's kind of like works with her family, and then another one who is a slightly more spicy character, should we say, racy character, I would say. She's basically the show opens with her shagging one of the guys, one of the cast members in like, you like and actually they so then they go to black and then they come back and then she does it a few times and you're like, oh, she's shagging again, sort of thing. You're like, all right, which is fair enough, people did it back in those days, so But if anyone's going because they see that and they were like, oh, that's going to be juicy about 1536, and anyone who doesn't know, 1536 is the year that Anne Boleyn was arrested, put in the tower, and then ultimately executed in a very short window of time. So anyone who thinks that you're going to go and see and you're going to get a lot of history, you're not going to get a lot of history. There weren't many facts or figures and stuff like that, which us, we like a
Yeah, well, that's what I thought it was about.
well, and to be fair, I thought it would be like that as well. But anyway, they weren't in the royal court. Those women, they weren't dressed like that, and that is basically just for the promo, which is fair enough because it gets your attention and it puts it into perspective of what time era and stuff it was. So it's fine. But basically, they are not very rich people, and they are literally, you can see here that they're like washerwomen and stuff like that. It's like fine. So basically, it is a story of the three of them and the struggles that they have between themselves and the wider community and the period that they were living in. And basically, the women's fight against, how unequal it was back then and how unrecorded it was back then, and how whatever you did as a woman, basically, it was always going to be your fault. And, if you were shagging someone's husband, then it would be you who would get done for, they were talking about the people being burnt at the stake in Chelmsford. There were two women burnt at the stake in Chelmsford for adultery, sort of thing. And factually, I'm not entirely certain that's true. I think I saw some other stuff like people were saying people didn't get done for that. But, they were talking about sorcery, they were talking about witchery, they were talking about this, that, and the other. And they're trying to pin things on women who, just because that's the power men held at that time. And it really does show you, as you go along, it shows the differences between their friendships, between the women, but then also the two male characters are there as well. And it also shows at that time how, you might be in love with someone, but actually if they don't suit your family, there's no chance you're going to get married to them. And it explores that type of thing, which is quite sad. Then it also explores like the heartache of like pregnancy and how many children died and how many women died. It also kind of like discussed at the very end when it gets reached to the crescendo about how women have no rights whatsoever. And even though they've done nothing wrong, because they have no rights, you're going to be assumed wrong. So you have to take that approach that actually I'm going to be found guilty. So what do I do in this situation? And it
Yeah,
just kind of like, yeah,
depressing.
it's quite a like, it's like not a, it's great to watch, but you kind of like see the parallels between them then and now are still kind of like there, and things haven't really changed. And, and it's like them talking about, how he had Anne Boleyn arrested and this, that, and the other, but they only touched on it very infrequently. And I was kind of hoping for a little bit more Anne Boleyn because,
Brilliant. Yeah,
we love Anne
'cause we love
Boleyn. But it was very good. And it was, I think Margot Robbie produced it. So
Yeah.
she co-produced it because she read it and she loved the similarities between women now and women then and all that. So yeah, so it's very good. I
Is
think
it based, is it based on a book, the play, or
no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think it
that
was
sounds
just done as
interesting.
a play.
But like, it's interesting to see how in a snapshot of time, a time that you and I know about because
Yeah,
of our love of history, so we know what was going on in the
yeah,
general landscape and how
yeah,
it compares to now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's it,
I
and yeah, it's interesting. It's Susanna Lipscomb does, Professor Susanna Lipscomb, she does a article in here, sort of like reclaiming the narrative, and she just goes on to say, like, well, there is no narrative for women back then because no one deigned the bother to record any of their voices. Even Anne Boleyn's trial, there is nothing of
there's
that because,
yeah,
why would they? Even her, when Henry was wooing her, the letters, they've got all the letters that he sent her, well, not all of them, but like a lot of the letters that he sent her, starting off in French when she, and then going to English, but they've got none of hers, none of Anne Boleyn's letters to him because why? Don't know. Where do they
yeah,
go? And whatever, discarded. But yeah, so she meant, she's very good. In actual fact, she said here, like, she gives some examples of some women who were, just kind of treated badly, like, because, they just did what they did. And, she's got one example here of in February 1535, there's a Margaret Chancellor of Suffolk was accused of having said that Queen Anne was a naughty whore and a, and a Google-eyed whore, and that Catherine of Aragon was the rightful queen. She said she was drunk and an evil spirit had said these words to her. But but like not many women spoke in favour of Anne Boleyn. But yeah, that when the Treason Act of 1534 came in, you're not allowed to say that, as we talked when we talked with Owen Emerson's course about that. But yeah, so it is very interesting. And then she's also got a point in here, but Hilary Mantel said, history is not the past. It's the method we have evolved of organizing our ignorance of the past. It's the record of what's left on record. And it's
yeah.
what's left in the sieve when the centuries have run through it. And then it says, yet sometimes the women of the past were ground to such a powder that history's sieve catches nothing of them, which I thought was really insightful.
That's because I think there are lots of stories coming out, isn't there, of people like extraordinary women who, and we've talked a lot on this about different women who've been particularly amazing, like Margaret Beaufort and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of the British women and stuff. And then you think, are those just unusual for their time, or is it because we don't have
No,
any
without
evidence of these women? I find that really interesting. Was because again, when the Christian church became or coming came into its own when it first existed, they say that they got rid of lots of different things that were about women
yeah,
because they wanted to make it so that it was a male led
yeah,
part,
control.
well,
Yeah,
society. And you think about all like the pagan rituals and priestesses and all those
mhm,
sort of things. And how Mary Magdalene, for example, has been totally demonized as this
yeah,
whore and
yeah,
prostitute and tempting Jesus and all the rest of it. And that's just one angle of things.
yeah,
And we only know about certain things now. And you think, I always worry about those pieces of work or art or literature that women did that is completely lost.
yeah,
It's sort of like when you hear about the crystal, the night of a thousand knives, the crystal night in Nazi Germany, and they got rid of loads of stuff that Jewish art and Jewish
yeah,
painting and books and stuff, and all those things that are lost and we never have back again. And
yeah,
you think all these things we've lost, and I mean that's another example again. All these things that we've lost that we don't know about. I mean that's why there is these civilizations like ancient Egypt and Greece who they were very forward for the time. If you compare to like Tudor England,
yeah,
there's so many gaps in things.
yeah.
I think people assume that history is about things getting better and better and better,
No,
become more and more advanced as a society, technology, all the rest of it, socially. But
no,
that's a
we
pro
regressed after the
yeah,
Romans, and we went downhill again. Like,
We didn't even have plumbing. Just chuck your wee and your poo
Yeah.
out into the
What? And
door.
who thought that? Who thought that? Who thought, okay, yeah, well, they've got a really good system, these Romans. They've thought of these really good things to do. Let's have that. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
all of the underfloor heating, then this, that, and the other. Oh no, let's get rid of that. Let's just chuck our shit out the window. Like what? Like,
I find that absolutely
no.
fascinating. And I mean, just to go a bit off topic, but there's that journalist, isn't there? I can't remember what his name is, but he's done shows that it's on Netflix, you can see it. And he goes and looks at old civilizations and stuff, and he's convinced of like how the pyramids were built and all that sort of thing. But he's convinced that we have lost mass civilizations of completely wonderfully clever
Yeah.
civilizations and people, maybe even not from this world, who were so advanced and technology
Yeah.
advanced. Because there's nothing to say that not like we've not all been here before with AI and stuff, and it's all got wiped out and the slate was clean, and so we go back to
What if?
I just fascinating. I'd love I just would love to just know everything.
Yeah.
That's my profound statement for today. I
Okay.
wish I just knew everything.
Okay.
And there's so many things I would love to just know about and find out about, and it's so annoying, isn't it?
Well, there's still plenty of time left to find out a lot of stuff. One more thing I
Yeah.
was going to say about this one,
Oh
though,
god, yeah.
is this lady here, who you can see her. But do you remember
Yeah.
the other Bennet sister? She was the haughty one. The one, yeah, yeah. So she was there. I was sat there. I was watching it. I was like, "Who is that?" And I was just like, "Oh," and I was just like, and I was like, "Of course it is. She's from the one from the other Bennet sister, which is my all-time favorite program so far this year." I'm just going to put it out there.
I still haven't seen it.
What? That's not good. It is very good. You'll love it. It's very wholesome. Mm.
Yes. Oh, I like things like that. I've actually been at the other end of the scale. I've been revisiting the program The Borgias, 'cause I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I talked about the Borgias. They are a big favourite of mine and always have been. I went to Florence when I was 18 with school, and again at 21 with my mum, and I've always been fascinated with Cesare Borgia, Lucretia Borgia, or Lucrezia Borgia, however you want to say it, and all of that. So when the program came out with Jeremy Irons as Pope Alexander VI, I love that. And the guy who's Cesare is amazing. And Holiday Granger, who is an amazing actress who's
Yeah.
Lucrezia. But I've been watching that all again. And
I
it's
need to
just like,
I've never seen it. I need to watch it.
it's again, there is a lot of artistic license,
Yeah.
but I think, and we talked about it before, they are like the ultimate soap opera family as far as I can see. I mean, the stuff going on there, the fact that he was a pope and had children literally lived in the palace with him, and there was lots of babies around and mistresses and
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. And of course there was a lot, and again, talking about women again, Lucrezia Borgia had a really bad reputation and was accused of, and rumoured to be having sex with all her brothers and her dad and all the cardinals. And I mean, they were horrible to her. And she went through a few husbands, and there was lots of plots against them, and lots of people who like they were got rid of by the other Borgias and God knows what. But that is, I mean, there is some stuff that happens in there, but there is some stuff that they've taken artistic license. But that is pretty a guilty pleasure for me at the moment.
I need to watch that. What I need to do is
And
get it on.
that's who, Mario Puzo, who wrote the Godfather films. He also wrote a book called The Family about the Borgias, a fictional book. But he always said that he based The Godfather on the Borgias. It's so they are like the ultimate mob
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
They were of Spanish descent and they came over, but they're so interesting, all of the characters. And
To read the book before I watch that? No.
no, no, just go ahead and watch it. And because there's lots of things, again, like The Princes in the Tower, there are things that nobody really knows, like who really killed Juan Borgia, who was
Okay.
Well, sometimes he's the older son, sometimes he's the second son, but it's very much seen that Cesare Borgia was responsible for his brother's death and the reasons why, and it was because he was a cardinal. I mean, he was a cardinal when he was like 19 because his dad made him a cardinal when he became pope. And they talk all about like when Alexander became pope, how he bribed everyone, and it's absolutely fascinating. So I've been watching that again, even though I know what happens and how it ends. It's quite an old series now. It's about 15, 16 years old, but someone needs to do that again or write
Yeah,
another book on them. They're amazing.
I
Yeah.
will have a look at that. I will, yeah. Now, so tell us about Wimborne then. Tell us about you and your new Beccy.
Well, obviously you're my Beccy, my BFF, but history magnet friend Lauren Johnson, who came on to talk about her amazing book, Margaret Beaufort, and one of our favourite ladies that we
Yeah.
always talk about. She finally made it to Wimborne for the literary festival that happened last week. Extra special because there are rumours that Margaret Beaufort was actually born in Wimborne. Her
Yeah.
father, I think her father died or was around this area when he
Isn't he,
died.
isn't he buried? Aren't they buried?
Both her parents, Margaret's parents, buried at Wimborne Minster, which I hadn't known about until fairly recently. And so you can, I mean, Lauren and I went in. There was a wedding to start with, and we were like, bloody hell, a
Rude.
wedding. We were going to the Minster, thank you. So we did, after she did her talk, we did go back in and managed to go and have a look 10 minutes before it closed. So we were going in, and I was taking photos for Lauren. But and obviously there's connections to Corfe Castle, which is
Yes.
nearby, that Maggie would have definitely have visited, which is Lauren's pet peeve, the fact that when you visit Corfe Castle, they don't mention that
Mention it.
really.
Yeah.
So there was I mean, it was a sold out event, her doing her talk on her book, and it was a bit extra special, I think, for Lauren and the people there because they seem to know more than most people because this is a
The
person
connection.
who's known about around here. So yes, so that was absolutely brilliant. I was holding Lauren's bag and telling people to buy the book who hadn't. But I was also sat by a lady who a couple of weeks ago, I don't know what event it was, but she'd actually dressed up and become Margaret Beaufort for some type of event. So when Lauren was talking, sometimes she was talking directly to Margaret Beaufort herself, who was sat next to me, who was a lovely lady. And it was some event where they were walking around and they were actually in character, and then people come and ask you about your character. And so that was really clever. So I was like, how have I missed that? I need to try and do that again.
Mm.
But Gallup Bookshop, who is the local bookshop in Wimborne, they're the ones who put on the literary festival. So she had a sellout talk, and it again, as there's always more questions whenever I think about Margaret.
Yeah.
There's always more things I want to know about her. But what was also great is that Lauren was talking about the possibility of writing a book on the women in the War of the Roses. So again,
Good.
before, I don't know if you remember, before she'd written some stuff when there was an exhibition at the Tower of London about, there was a female blacksmith, for example,
Yes. Yes.
who was widowed, was in business with her son. So again, talking about those lost women voices
Yeah.
in where there were so many interesting characters who were women who were who basically, you know, got the Tudors sorted out. You know, Margaret Beaufort, you've got Elizabeth Woodville, Elizabeth of York, also Henry Stafford's mum, so Margaret's third husband.
Yeah.
She was is it Anne, Duke of the Duchess of Buckingham? And she's gonna be featured, and Christine de Pizan, and, like,
Oh,
just loads
good.
of people.
Well, she
So,
started that now.
I don't I because she's also trying to finish her PhD
Yes, because she does
and
them,
all
hasn't
that
she?
work, so
Yeah.
I think got lots going on, and I was like, "You need to write that soon because I really want to read it." So, yeah, so
Good
that's
spot.
really exciting. Yeah. So, but it was just amazing to meet her in real life. But what was also amazing, I have to do a shout out as well. So, Black Pug Books is this cute, gorgeous bookshop in Wimborne, opposite the Tivoli Theatre for people who know, and the Tap House miniature pub. It's actually not just a bookshop; it's this lady's front 2 rooms of her house. So her bookshop is in her house, so a shout out to Victoria, who I absolutely love. And I've said that we're going to go and do a podcast there. So when you come down to Wimborne, we're going to go there and do a podcast there with her. And Victoria used to work for the BBC back in the like 70s when misogyny ruled. So we're talking a little bit about that, about how David Frost was the best man at her wedding, things like that. So she's a woman with a lot of stories to tell. So I happened to mention that I was here for the Wimborne Literary Festival and I was going to see Lauren, and she said, "Oh, I really wanted to go and see Lauren Johnson, but I've got the shop open." And I said, "Well, I'm actually meeting her and I'm waiting for her now. We're going to go and grab a coffee." She said, "Well, I'll make you a coffee and I've got biscuits. So bring Lauren here." So I text Lauren. I said, "Change plan, come to this bookshop." And then we were in the front room of the bookshop, eating chocolate digestives, drinking tea with Victoria, and people coming and going buying books. And there's all these beautiful secondhand books and some beautiful copies. I think Victoria particularly likes the folio books in the container things. What are they called? The slip
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah.
And she had some beautiful vintage books and things. So we talking about books, and it was her house. I was like, "Oh my god, how have I lived around here and not been
Oh,
here?"
because
And
it's
she
not
only
far
op
from you, is it?
No, it's about
Um,
20 minutes drive. My sister lives in Wimborne. She opens on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and she also holds poetry nights. She has a poet in residence who comes and does workshops. She has a folk guy who comes and does folk tales in the garden. So I basically said I was gonna move in with her.
okay. And okay.
She was offering Lauren a bed for the night if she needed it, but she didn't offer me one, but I did invite myself to move in with her. She wasn't keen, but I need to work on that. But what an
Yes.
amazing bookshop and an amazing woman and brilliant
Yeah.
personality. Was so kind, and Lauren, bless her, gave her copy that she'd bought of her Margaret Beaufort book, which she signed for Victoria, and then left it there. So then I had to use my book, which she's now signed, to then be in all the pictures and things. So it was like a double whammy of amazingness. So I
Great.
made a new friend, got a new bookshop. I did buy a book on oh no, I bought 3 books. One on the curse of the swastika, which was short stories about Nazi war crimes,
Wow.
a book on Henry VIII, and I think it was a Sarah Griswold book, Blood of
Okay.
Sisters?
Okay.
Yeah. But if you're in Wimborne, go to that shop, Black Pug Books,
Oh,
it
that's
was
yeah.
wonderful.
Well, we're in. So just to make a connection to that Wimborne Literary Festival, the one of my old school friends, Kevin Parr, he actually did a talk there as well. Which, yeah, but I couldn't go because it was during the week. It was like on a Thursday or something. But
Mm.
he did a talk there for one of his books. He's just released another book, and so yeah, very proud of him. He's a lovely guy. Went to his wedding, and I really rate him. And my ongoing reminder of him is that I used to sit in front of him in English lessons. And there was a time where I had, this is literally every time I think about him, I start singing it. I had hair extensions. Have I told you this? Or I had hair extensions for just 17 magazine. And
You told me
yes,
about your the 17 magazine
yes.
modelling. Yeah.
So I had hair extensions for just 17 magazine. And I was featured in the magazine. But anyway, obviously, I then had them in and I used to tie them up. And he always used to say it looked like a horse's tail. So he used to sit behind me in English class and sing, "Horsey, horsey, don't you stop, just make your feet go clippity clop," whatever. And so my ongoing thing about my dear friend Kevin is that song, and that's what he does. But he was there too.
Lovely.
So, but yeah, I need to keep an eye on them because he's endorsed it too. We need to send maybe if they is it an annual thing, the Wimborne Literary thing? I guess.
They definitely do things annually,
Yeah.
but it's not always a big festival. It might just be one day where they
Okay.
pack things. But I think Gulliver's Bookshop do a lot of different things anyway, so
Oh
it's
yeah.
about looking out for that really. But what does Kevin write? What sort of book is it?
A kind of
Fiction,
like
non-fiction?
wildlife, kind of like a wildlife type thing, yeah, so he's like that's what he's into, so he does like he's a
Wow.
very keen angler as well, so he does like, he does a lot for, I'm gonna say, kind of like deep sea countryfile sort of stuff and stuff like that, he does some things like that. Do I mean countryfile? I think I do,
Sounds
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good, but he also did another book, I've got it in there, can't remember the top, but let's talk about it next time. I can't remember the top off the top of my head, but it's kind of like almost like a. It's not a wintering one thing, but yeah, it is. Yeah, he's like, I like to think it was my sitting behind me in English, which obviously projected onto him, and so that's why he's now so successful.
Yeah. I
It's
think you're
totally the other way round.
entitled to half the royalties. I would say. Yeah.
Totally the other way
Yeah.
round. He's very good.
What
But,
what made me laugh about seeing Lauren was her very frantic text messages as she was like, because she was late leaving, because she lives Brighton way.
Oh,
She
does
was
she?
late leaving because there was a coffee accident with the cardigan, I believe. And so it was this panic to get here, and then she got there, and then it was where to park, and Wimbledon's not the best place
No,
to
I
park
can
in,
imagine. Yeah.
spaces and that. And then obviously trying to find where I was and so we could meet up. So when she got to me, I was literally, I had a cup of tea and handed it and biscuits, and she was happy. But she's like the glorious life of an author and
Yeah.
historian traveling around,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the superstarness of it. But I mean, what I really like about Lauren is her humour and how she talks and makes the people she talks about come alive.
Yeah.
And if I mean, I really love Henry VII even more since reading her Margaret Beaufort book.
Yeah.
Because she really, yeah, puts a difference. You think of him as a man as opposed to the king, as a son and
Yeah.
growing up and having to go away
The
and
journey took to get to it. Yeah.
yeah. So it was great. But yeah, look at us, friends with the stars, the
And
famous.
then of course, we're back in Wimborne in
Yeah.
October to
Oh
see
yeah, of course.
Queen Borman on her, I think probably for kids, but we're going anyway. So
Yeah, and we're at the front. So there'll be little children behind us, like, whatever.
can't see you, don't care.
What day is that on? Because you could come and stay with me, and then we'll go and do the podcast
Yeah.
at Victoria's. Or we could stay with her. Let me visit again so I can ingratiate myself into her world. He also has some knowledge on valuing books, and I've still got a lot of books left over, and I don't know what to do with them because I think some of them are valuable or need to be looked after. So I was going to take in load of books for her to look through as well. So
No, double whammy.
yeah,
Good, good. Marvellous.
right. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm talked out.
Okay. Yeah. And it's hot. And we need to probably go and get an ice cream or something, I would suspect. Yeah.
What's your favourite ice cream?
I mean, if we're talking ice lollies, I'm going to say Twister because I like the lime sorbet stuff inside with the pineapple on the outside. If we're talking, I mean, a 99 flake, if I've got a machine, and if we're just talking like scoop, then it'll either be salted caramel. I've not thought about this, or mint choc chip
No,
cornetto.
I didn't realise it would be mint chocolate. Yeah, cornetto. Do you remember the shandy lollies and the
Yes,
lemon lollies?
lemonade sparkles. Oh, I used to love a lemonade sparkle.
Yeah, but my favourite ice creamy thing is a feast, and they do new feasts. Have you seen them with caramel? So it's plain ice cream, vanilla or plain ice cream, not chocolate, and it's got caramel through the middle. My God, not as good as the original feast.
Okay.
But if we ever have feast in the house, if anyone eats one without my say so, there is absolute carnage.
Well, you
I'm
know,
feeling quite anxious about that now because I feel like I need to go and check the
you
freezer
should go and
to see
check. You should go and
if
check just to be
yeah,
sure, and then just count to 10 before you start killing people. But quite frankly, it's their own fault. So you know,
exactly. They've been warned, so
yeah,
it's not on me.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Well,
Lovely.
on that bombshell, we'll see everyone soon where we talk
Yeah,
more history stuff.
cool. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.